Well, Don, it's that time again. Welcome to another edition of the Squared Circle Maniacs Pro Wrestling Podcast. My name is Johnny Bottles. To my left, that guy right there is Dr. Don Wayne, the network psychologist from Twitter. You may know him as from one of his many, many hits on Twitter, such as, "You really believe what's coming out of your mouth right now?" and "Do you have a job or you just living off your parents?" Two of his greatest hits from Twitter.
That's a classic.
Yes.
You always got to go back to that one. Thanks again for joining us. It feels like we were just here. We were just here, weren't we?
It does seem like that. We were just here, yes. It does. Greg's here. Hey, Greg, how you doing, buddy?
I'm ready to get this going, right? So we are, believe it or not, Johnny, if you look at your calendars.
Pal, you got to give the plug first. Please like and subscribe our show. Everybody out there.
Oh, it's going to
get YouTube land.
It's going
all the goodness and niceness that just flows from us.
Oh, yes.
The instant karma that comes out of us.
You forgot about my other big hit that I had.
What's that?
But I say Vince wants to rock.
Vince wants to rock.
No, I really did a song with that and sent it to Jim Cornette's show and got played.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I've never heard that. You've never played that for me.
I will have to find it and send it to you. It's a
look in the archives and send that shit my way. I got to see
it. Dude, you might piss your pants. It's pretty good. Good evening, Grey Goose, everybody. We appreciate you guys tuning in. Have a correction from last night's show. I said something that was incorrect, and I'm always one to correct myself when I say something. It was not, in fact, me, Gene Okerlund, that was interviewing Psycho Sid when he said, "We're live, pal." It was actually the great Jim Ross. So my bad. I've watched a lot of wrestling. These names sometimes run together. Matter of fact, I watched the Terry Gordy episode again today to make sure my brain was refreshed because I didn't want to be stepping on my dick doing that tonight.
Don't step on your dick, pal. Bad look. Especially when you're wearing shorts. When you're wearing shorts out in public, it's a bad look.
It's WrestleMania season. We are 2 Fridays away from being the weekend of WrestleMania.
Yes.
Last year at this time, we pretty much knew where we were, I believe. Most of the matches, I want to say almost all the matches have been announced, but here we are just a couple of weeks away, and there are some notable omissions from this WrestleMania card. Names that are kind of bothering me that they're not on this card and they haven't been announced yet. I don't know about you, but there's some wrestlers that on this card that I'm kind of pissed off that they don't have a main event WrestleMania match. Because to me, all the matches at WrestleMania, they're main event matches, right? I know somebody's got to go on last, but you don't get on this show anymore just because you're an okay worker. You've got to have a storyline. You've got to have something to care about. People need to care about your character development, right? Long gone are the days of getting the Killer Bees out there just to have a tag team match. We're way past that now. Like that reference? That's some old school reference.
That was fantastic. This is this skull. This is they have the Andre the Giant Battle Royal usually. That would be your lower card guys in there, but every other match would be a match that could main event a TV show. It could be the main event of SmackDown, Raw, whatever.
So Paul Levesque has done a good job, as Eamon said. He's done a good job for the most part, but there's some shit missing that I've got to raise an eyebrow, if you will.
Well, let's tell them what the card is so far. Let's go down the announced matches first. And we'll talk about who's not on here.
Well, can we bust through this quick? As fast as possible, because I think we all know what they are. We got The Rock and Roman versus Rhodes and Seth Rollins. The next night is Roman versus Cody. Seth versus Drew. Io Sky versus Bayley, Rhea Ripley versus Becky Lynch, Sami Zayn versus Gunther, Logan Paul versus Randy Orton, and Kevin Owens. 6-pack tag ladder match, which sounds as bad as it's probably going to be. I bet it's going to suck. I hate shit like this. I hate gimmick matches. Jay and Jimmy Uso fight each other, and LA Knight and AJ Styles. A lot of names missing from this card right now. A lot of names.
Very much so. Very much so.
The one name that's catching my eye is Dominic Mysterio. Dominic Mysterio has been in the limelight for the majority of the past year. He had that match last year with his father. He came out, he had the great gimmick. He had gone to jail, if you remember. He came out in the damn LA Correctional Facility van, the LA cop van. He was in chains. Great gimmick. Had such a lead up. Great storyline with his father. Father versus son, brother versus brother, family versus family. We got brother and brother this year, but you know what I'm saying? It's a family lineage story. These always get my attention in wrestling. And he's not even on the card. And I can't even name a feud he's in right now because he's bouncing around like a hot potato. Who the hell is this guy even feuding with right now? He had something that looked like going with Gunther. There was something with Gunther, and then it just went away.
There's a little something going on with Andrade El Idolo. Andrade, there could be a little something going on with him. They could bring Andrade. If he beats Dom, he's in the Judgment Day. They could have like a stipulation like that. Andrade did not really... Dominic hasn't endeared himself to Andrade in their interactions on the screen. So I would think that Andrade has no interest in joining the Judgment Day.
Or maybe he has interest in joining it and kicking him out. Like, I see what you're saying,
right?
But the fact is, it shouldn't be taking this long to get to where this is going to be going. Like,
could be a pre-show match. Could be a pre-show match.
This
two pre-show nights now. Two pre-show nights.
But again, you're talking about a guy last year that had one of the most entertaining angles going into Mania, and he's nowhere to be seen on the card right now. 2 weeks out. That's
arguably the biggest heel in the roster last summer. Arguably the biggest heel.
I'd say he was. If you remember, up until a couple of months ago when he would talk, you couldn't hear the damn crowd. I mean, he went to NXT to where it looked like he was picking on up-and-coming wrestlers. It was such a shit heel tactic. It was great, and here we are, 6 months, after that great run in the summer. I don't know where the hell he is. I don't know what he's doing. It's like, get the guy back to me. What he's the perfect heater for the women's champion. It's perfect. He and Rhea Ripley work so well together, and now he's buried in this horse shit that I can't find him in. It's driving me nuts. I don't know about you. I feel like the guy's not getting enough respect for what he's done the past year. He should be fighting for a title. That's just me. What do you think? What else you got for me? Who else do you see missing?
I wouldn't see it. I wouldn't say fighting for a title. I would say having like a real bitter feud, a bitter rivalry with somebody. And I think Andrade might be the guy if they could put it together. What are we, 2 weeks away?
Yeah.
Are we 2 weeks away from WrestleMania?
Yeah, we are 2 weeks.
2 weeks away. Can they build something in 2 weeks? Throw a match together real quick? Who the hell knows?
Do something shit, because this ain't it, pal.
I just saw a list of people who are not on the Natalya is always on WrestleMania. Yeah. I could care less either, but she's not there. Braun Breaker.
There you go.
Braun Breaker, the next big thing, does not have a spot at WrestleMania. He's on the main roster on SmackDown. And it's just like they put him there just to shut the fans up. Call Braun Breaker up. Call Braun Breaker up. Call him up. Okay, now he's on SmackDown. But he's also the NXT tag champ with Baron Corbin. Makes no sense to me, but let him go. Let him go to SmackDown.
How long have I been saying that guy was main roster ready now? I've been saying it for months. That guy's got to come up.
Dude.
You've got to put him in a feud. I know he hasn't been here very long. I know he hasn't been doing
this for a year, but
I know he hasn't been on the main roster for long, but they need to do something with the guy. He's clearly ready. I like that they're putting him in squash matches, for his first couple to get him over, but do something with the guy. The other, I'm going to switch gears here for a little bit and name one more that I think is just ridiculous.
Go ahead.
Why is Bianca Belair not on the WrestleMania card right now? She was your champion for so long. So long. Why isn't she doing anything right now, man? I don't get it.
Why'd you have to take somebody from my list? You son of a bitch.
I thought that's where you were going first, so I took it away. And yes, if they pair him with Dom, it's going to turn Andrade a heel, but I don't think they're going to do that. It looks like they're setting up a match for that, and I still don't get that angle at all. I don't get that.
I think Bianca Belair is hating on Bayley because she feuded with Damage Control for so long. So she's hating on Bayley, but Naomi's feeling sympathetic towards Bayley. And going by their interaction the last couple of SmackDowns, I think that Bianca Belair may team with Naomi against the Kabuki Warriors. If Asuka's healthy. Asuka's nursing a bad knee right now. We don't know the extent of that damage. She got hurt last week on SmackDown. So,
did you hear the latest rumor on Jade Cargill?
No.
There's a rumor they're going to put her in this 6-man women's match. That's what they're saying is going to happen. That's what I read earlier.
Naomi, Bianca, and Jade versus the Kabuki Warriors and Dakota Kai.
Yep. That's what they've been saying so far. So
I don't understand the fixation with these wrestling companies where if they have two great black athletes that are over, male or female, they feel the need to pair them together. Why is that? Why are they obsessed with doing that? You can have, dude, this is the 21st century now, okay? We're all progressively minded when it comes to this.
Don't you do this, dude.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying you can have a white wrestler and a black wrestler as a tag team. You don't have to keep, okay, well, they're both black. Let's put them together.
I thought you were going to say have men and women wrestle each other. I was like, no, no,
mixed sex. No intergender wrestling. No, this isn't CGW, pal. Or GCW or whatever the hell that shit's called. Game Changer Wrestling. God, where they pay you in weed and coke.
You know what? I didn't even think about this, but he's right, dude. Y'all made a
black girls versus Asian girls. Yes.
Why is that a thing? Why?
Yes. Come to www.apartmentwrestling.com. see black girl versus Asian girl. Apartmentwrestling.com.
Dude, it's awful. I didn't even.
You know, they used to have that.
Yeah,
they used to do that.
I know.
Apartmentwrestling.com.
There's actually a Netflix special on that a couple of years ago. I watched some crazy shit. I didn't even think about that aspect of, to be honest. Like, I didn't even, don't leave it like that. It's a crazy story. I didn't even think about that aspect. Like, that's a crazy aspect, and that's a good point. Like, why are they making these two factions about your culture, your race? But that's another story for the day. I'm not going to go down that whole rabbit hole. Someone else that's missing from this card. Well, now you give me one, John.
There was a Netflix special in Apartment Wrestling.
Well, it was this one woman, and she ended up killing a guy.
What?
Yeah, I'll send you the link after the show. Give me one, Johnny. Come on, give me one.
Shinsuke Nakamura. No, I was going to say Shinsuke Nakamura. Bronson Reed's done a lot this year. Bronson Reed has done a lot this year. He's the world's smallest giant. How come Bronson Reed is not on the WrestleMania card? A guy that can go.
He's a big bastard too. Big bastard.
Well, he's taller laying down than he is standing up straight. But
look, man.
He's 6 feet tall, dude.
I like my wrestlers to look different. I don't want them all to look like they stepped out of a Chip and Dale's catalog. I want a fat guy in overalls. I want some little skinny beanpole that's ripped out of his mind that's like 6'5" that looks like he can go.
I need a guy jumping off a garbage truck. I need a guy with a plunger in his hand.
See, now you're getting ridiculous. Now you're going to bring up a hockey player next.
The Goon?
Oh, here we go. I knew it.
The great Wild Bill Irwin. The Goon.
I knew it. But it just feels like, we joked about the show, with the wrestlers jumping off the shelves, but that's what it is. It's Elf on a Shelf, WWE style. It's like, okay, shit, we got to do something here. There's got to be a point where you start pushing some of this younger talent, and we talked about this privately earlier. There's some NXT talent that need to come up now. They're ready now. They're ready. Trick Williams needs to come up now. He should be having a WrestleMania now, not next year, now.
If you don't watch NXT, you've got to get hip to Trick Williams. He's not the best in the ring, but he looks like $1 million. You could scrub the skid marks out of your underwear on that man's abs. That's how chiseled this bastard is. He's got the gift of gab. He reminds you of Booker T. Not the stereotype that all black wrestlers are alike, but he's got the same frame, the same body composition of Booker T, the great Booker T, I must say. And I will say that Lyra Valkyria is a very, very accomplished wrestler. She was on the UK independent scene for years and years and years. She could come up tomorrow and she would have banger matches with Lynch, with Bia Belair, with every single one of them. Gigi Dolan looks like $1 million. She slows molasses in the ring, but bring her up. See what she can do.
So here it is.
Hang on. And the heavyweight champ, Ilya Dragunov.
I don't want to talk about that guy because we're going to go.
He should be up tomorrow.
I'm not getting into this. We have different opinions on that guy.
He's too small.
He's a midget.
That's a fight for another day, pal.
Yes. Warrior wants to know, do we prefer the WrestleMania card now or when it was just 4 hours? Personally, I like the 2-day extravaganza. I like it because there's so many more wrestlers now that need to have their own moments on WrestleMania, in my opinion.
Right.
I enjoy what's being formatted right now. Long gone, as I said, are the days of the Pan Am connection or the Can-Am connection or the Killer Bees coming out and giving me an 8-minute match. I like to have about 7 or 8 matches a night versus sitting through 15. That is a painstakingly long night, even if it's only 4 hours. Because some of those matches back then, if you remember, were like 7 minutes and out of here, and that's fine. But you got to tell a hell of a story in 7 minutes. Like, you got to get in there and fight like hell and move a lot. So,
absolutely,
just my opinion. Just my opinion. Another one that's missing, and I don't want to drone on this all night, but Solo Sikoa. Solo Sikoa should have his own moment right now. Why this guy isn't in a feud and why he continues to be the goon for the bloodline is beyond me. The guy can clearly wrestle. The guy clearly has what it takes. He's clearly got some charisma. Why is this guy not in a blood feud right now? And by the way, we haven't talked about this, so let's go and get to this. They're also using some of the wrestlers on the card in the worst possible way. Why is Randy Orton in a U.S. title match? He should be the guy fighting Solo Sikoa right now because they have history.
Read my mind.
There is a story here to tell, and instead we're getting a bunch of horse shit with Randy Orton going for a title that is meeting look. When I see former heavyweight champions, former WWE Universal, the big champion of the company, going for lesser titles, immediately I just go horse shit. I don't want anything to do with this. You know how this is going to come out. He's going to lose in some screwed up fashion. He has no business with the U.S. title unless Randy Orton is in a blood feud or is wrestling for a championship, a major championship. He's got no business out there with Jake Paul. It's ridiculous to me that he's been put in this position. Logan Paul, whichever one.
We know what you mean. Yeah.
Whatever. I don't give a shit about the Pauls. Just whichever one. It bothers me to no end that they've got him in this feud out of nowhere. Just out of nowhere because he got hit with brass knucks, which, by the way, that shit was stupid. Like, it should have been him hitting LA Knight, in my opinion. That should have been the title that LA Knight was going for. That should be where LA Knight is going right now, to get the U.S. title. That is his first step in ascending up that ladder. He is still red hot. It would fit him to have the U.S. title, in my opinion.
Let me ask you this question. Who would have the better match with Logan Paul, LA Knight or Randy Orton? I'm taking Kevin Owens out of the equation altogether.
Yeah, Randy Orton.
Kevin Owens doesn't. I'm tired of Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens needs to take a couple of months off and maybe lift a weight or two and, cut back on the cream-filled cupcakes and change his look a little bit. I know it's harder. He's older. He's getting disrespected for WrestleMania 40. He is getting disrespected. He should be wrestling Solo Sikoa, which would be a marquee match on any night on TV. That would be the main event. And
I've seen this comment from a lot of folks that it's too late for him to go back to mid-card. He's an upper mid-card guy. He's not main event in LA Knight. He's not Randy Orton yet. He's ascending. He's not there yet. He's not on that level yet. He's on his way. He's just not the man yet. He's got a huge reaction. He's limited in the ring. Give him some time because he's not going to get any better. He's 40 years old. He's not getting any better. This is what he is. He can be a great U.S. champion. He has no business in the ring with the Cody Rhodes and Randy Ortons of the world. Randy Orton's got no business in the ring with Paul. It's just absurd to me. And Kevin Owens, like you said, go away, learn a new hold, sit down for 4 months, come back because I want to fight somebody. That shit's gotten old fast. I've grown tired of his act. I've grown tired of
same old. Another guy I'm tired of is Sami Zayn.
And I know where you're going to go with this, so go ahead. Say it.
He just looks like he looks like he looks like an Irish wild man with the red hair and the beard and the long red hair, and he's very Mick Foley-ish. He's an unfunny Mick Foley, is what he is. He's Mick Foley without the wit and without throwing himself onto the concrete. It's just, it's the same old with Sami Zayn. I can't win the big one. I got to fight from underneath. I'm the low man. I'm the low man on the totem pole.
Do not.
I said it.
Do not.
I said it.
God damn it. And this is the point he was already making it. Chad Gable should be the guy in this WrestleMania card. This is the other spot on the card that doesn't make any sense. Chad Gable had to win me over. I was not a fan of that guy. I wasn't a part of the shush movement. It irritated the shit out of me forever. But then he started working, and eventually he started pulling over his gimmick. Eventually, he started putting his mic skills together. He started putting the act together. You could see the guy could work. Chad Gable should be in this Intercontinental title spot right now. He should be the guy going for that belt. Sami Zayn was the total wrong move, and I don't give a shit now if they make it a three, because you can't do but so many three-ways, right? You've already got one three-way. Why are we going to add another one? Okay, stop it. What have you been watching today? What have you been watching?
Anything. I've been watching how to clean out your septic system videos on YouTube.
You've been watching TNA? With Jimmy?
TNA? I would watch that with your eyeballs.
But that's the horrible. They have booked this entirely wrong. It's entirely wrong. Chad Gable should be in this. He should be in this spot, man. And it's pissing me off that he's not. It's absurd that he's not.
Hang on a second. What's this guy right? Is he on stage? Well, that's all. Basically, what that is he said, she said. He said, he said. With that Jack Perry situation, we'll talk about that in a minute, because that's a hot topic right now. The fate of gentleman Jack Perry.
He said Johnny Bottles has been watching Apartment Wrestling.
You son of a bitch! I told you to keep quiet, Mr. Harris.
Oh my God. Anyway, there's a couple other ones I want to talk about real quick before we move on. Chad Gable was obviously one that was on my mind. There was one. Oh, where the hell is Bobby Lashley? Where the hell's Bobby?
Feuding with Karrion Kross and SmackDown. For that matter, where's Karrion Kross? Where are the authors of pain? Where are the Street Profits? Where are all those men?
I can tell you where Karrion Kross is. He's at that bottomless pit of charisma that he lacks. It is awful. Look, whatever kind of momentum he had, it is over. It is over. There is no need to carry on any longer. Like, that's all he's got.
Is that a play on words, pal?
No.
Karrion Kross, don't carry on any longer.
It's got to stop.
When I saw that they paired him with the authors of pain and that cardboard cutout of Paul Ellering, I saw that this is it. This is as far as this guy gets right now. Because if you got to trot out the corpse of Paul Ellering and wheel him out with the authors of pain, it's over for Karrion Kross. If you're trying to use those three guys as heaters for Karrion Kross, when he's got Scarlett, his wife, as his heater, his manager, his paramour, his what do we want to call her?
Well, look, here it is. No. Do you want to know what this is with what he's in right now, Karrion Kross?
What is this? What is this?
This is Mark Merrow with Sable. Right?
She's not getting the recognition.
He has the look, but he cannot go. And she is the star of that whole thing. She's the star of that act.
Yeah. Well, I think what they did with Karrion Kross is he needs to be the lead heel on a show, the big bad, the final boss. Unfortunately, the show that he's on, the final boss is Roman Reigns. Well, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, as he says, but the main villain of the show that he's on is Roman Reigns, a guy that hardly ever shows up. And then who do you got after that? The secondary championship, which is the U.S. title. And that would be Logan Paul. They need to get that U.S. title.
Who's not wrestling every week, who's not on TV
He's not wrestling every week. He's not even there all the time. No. They need to put that U.S. title on a babyface that's going to be there so Karrion Kross can feud with him and try to take it away from him. L.A. Knight and Karrion Kross would be a great feud. It would be. It would be a great feud. This is something different, you would say. This is something different. You don't say that. Can you say that Scarlett is really over? She's over with me, pal, on my couch while I'm watching SmackDown.
Look, I'm not saying she's over as far as cutting a promo, but she gets a reaction from the fans. Like that's
she gets a reaction from my little fan.
All right, we're moving on. Jesus Christ on a pony. What is wrong with
little Johnny Bottles?
Yeah. That's about all I wanted to cover on the WrestleMania. We got a couple other things I want to get to. Do you have anything else that you want to talk about on this?
On WrestleMania? Will they have the Andre the Giant Battle Royal? It's not been announced.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's a regular thing under Vince. It's a regular thing. Personally, I would have the James Ellsworth Battle Royal, Memorial Battle Royal.
Look what you've done.
Or
look what you've done.
JB Jr.
Do not do shit you don't know how to do. I am moving on before this comes completely off the rails.
Let's go. Moving on. Go ahead,
Do you
Don.
think CM Punk will main event WrestleMania 41 if he stays healthy? That's the real question right now.
If he stays healthy, yes.
There is news on MJF today before we get into some of the other stuff. Did you see the news on MJF?
Yes. He's not on the AEW website, on the roster page, and all his merchandise has been removed. And last week, Diamond Dallas Page posted a picture of his Twitter account of Cody Rhodes and MJF side by side when they were in AEW. And he wrote something along the lines of, I can't recall what the exact verbiage was, will they ever meet again? That's all he said. And maybe he knows something that we don't know. But I've been saying the whole time,
it's a work.
That effing guy, it's not a work. That effing guy is not employed by AEW. If he's still employed by AEW, why would they admit that the guy still works there? He's out hurt. He's having all this surgery done to his shoulder. He's convalescing. No promos by the guy? Come on now.
So
why would it be a work? Why would it be a work? You're insinuating a man who can't write a TV show is playing this long, protracted angle that this guy's out hurt and will he re-sign? They've never mentioned, is MJF re-signed his contract? Is he still with us? Has he re-signed? They're in negotiations now. Why wouldn't they put this on TV? Why wouldn't they mention it on TV? But then again, he never even said, Mercedes Moné's all elite.
Thank you very much.
And
You're making my point.
She'll be here. Yes.
You're making my point. Because he outmarks himself to no end. He thinks he's the smartest guy in the room when he does shit like this. And all it does is show how much of a mark that he is. Because when they sign, when WWE makes a big signing, they don't keep it hush hush. They let you know it's coming. They want a sold out arena. They want the TV audience up. They tell you this is coming. This is happening. Get ready. We're going to watch this. But here's what was reported by the great, I'm not even going to call it reporting now. This was on the latest sheet from Meltzer. MJF is out of action. His shoulder injury was significant. Aside from that, they're being tight-lipped about it. He's keeping it as quiet as he can. He's not going to talk about it.
I'm expected to believe that that little curly-haired cokehead is sitting there in his chair in his study going, Sandra, take all of MJF's merchandise off the website. Take him off the roster page. I've got an idea.
Eamon just made another great point. We didn't know when CM Punk was debuting either. They didn't announce it. It was suspected. It was rumored, but they never announced it.
Debuting for who? WWE?
AEW.
But that's just the thing. That was a nice surprise that he was getting some ratings at the time, and that was a nice surprise that shocked people. Try to get people to tune in every week to see a big surprise. But if you got the guy still working there, why would you make it seem like he's not working there? And you don't mention it on the air.
Johnny,
I don't understand it.
You are thinking too hard on this, pal. You really are.
I'm thinking too logically about this, Don.
Yes, you're thinking way too hard. CM Punk was not announced for WWE because they wanted to keep this shit off the dirt sheets. Absolutely. No one was going to know about this.
Right.
No one was going to know.
That. Yeah, sure.
They're
keeping everything locked down. I got to get you a cough button, pal. How's that COVID doing?
Sorry. There it is. Got it out.
Don's got the COVID black lung going on right now. My daughter had that. She had that 3 weeks ago, and she's got vertigo from the COVID, the doctor said. It's from certain strains of COVID. It's a gift that keeps on giving, much like AEW Dynamite. But go ahead, Don. Should we talk about the quarter hours?
Oh, God, are we going to relive AEW? Well, look, there's really nothing to cover, right? Like, I don't want to relive that shit. But Johnny got the quarter hours. He showed them to me. They were pretty steady. They were like 780, 770, 760, 780, all the way across the board. So there was no huge drop-off or anything else. It was that first quarter hour. They had like 900,000, then straight to the sevens. And that's where they stayed the rest of the show.
When you got to 10 o'clock, what happened, Don?
It went to like 500. People got the hell out of there.
But it was the highest rating for Rampage in a year.
Ever. I think, since CM Punk's debut, I want to say. Actually, 549,000.
Yeah, 549,000.
We're about to talk Terry Gordy right now, Warrior. The latest.
Calm down, Warrior. We're going to do it now, baby.
The latest Dark Side of the Ring aired this week, and I'm a big fan of the show, right? WWE's ex-wrestlers, like there's a lot of wrestlers now that will not take part of this show because they don't like the fact that they're dropping the curtain back and showing you how these guys lived back in the 70s and 80s. And I got news for you, kids. These guys weren't exactly, stewards of the taxpayers' dollar. They did some illegal shit. They weren't good guys necessarily behind the scenes, and they made some piss poor decisions. Morally, they just weren't all angels. Just the way it is, man. You get that much money and that much, power, so to speak, and fame at a young age.
Sure.
I mean, there's an old saying, right? Absolute power corrupts absolutely. And that's what it does. It will corrupt your soul when you come into something like this.
If only there were cell phones back then, Don. Can you imagine?
God. Oh, my God, pal. Holy
Could
shit.
you imagine? So many people would be canceled. Oh, my God. The woke culture would be driving a steamroller over top of the entire wrestling business back in those days.
This particular episode touched home with me because I have heard a lot about Terry Gordy, and I didn't get to see a lot of Terry Gordy. I've had to go back and watch a lot of old films on the guy. Big bone guy, just a big bone dude. He didn't have the perfect body, but the son of a bitch could go and was just a big mauling man's man. And this is what got my attention. Did you catch the age he started training? Not actually wrestling in the ring, but training, how old he was.
No, what was the age? I know it was preteen.
He was 13 when he started training to be a professional wrestler with grown men. They showed videos of him.
As big as a grown man.
Yeah. They showed videos of him at 14 years old, as big as the wrestlers he was in there wrestling. On TV. This guy was wrestling on TV at 14 years of age. That is insane to me.
That was a rewind moment when you saw that. You had to spin it back to say, wait a minute, that can't be what I'm hearing. And you go and look at it again, and you say, God damn, that big pasty white guy is Terry Gordy. 14 years old. It was phenomenal. Yeah, 6'5", 240. Phenomenal.
Grown man.
And great cardio. Great cardio.
Good
Yeah,
go,
I mean, he could roll. Yeah.
The part of this that really got my attention was they talked about the Freebirds being joined, right? I mean, Bill Watts was a hell of a talent finder. He saw shit in people, man, and it was great. It was great. Do you realize his age when he joined Michael P.S. Hayes? Because I had to go back and look this up because I was like, get the hell out of here. No
18 or 19,
way.
wasn't it?
He was 18 years old when he formed the Fabulous Freebirds. He was a kid, Johnny. He was a kid and was immediately one of the biggest acts in wrestling. And everybody talked about in this episode. He is the original innovator of the power bomb. If you see a power bomb today, thank Terry Gordy because he has invented all of that shit. It is absolutely one of the craziest stories you can ever see. I enjoyed it immensely. I saw the Iron Claw, so I got I got my emotions attached to this a little bit more because in the Iron Claw, they talk about the Von Erichs dueling with the Freebirds. That shit got over so high down there. It put it on the map. It got carried nationally because of that feud. Absolutely insane.
You're a Southern wrestling aficionado is what you are. And you've seen a lot of Terry Gordy's matches and heard about the legend of Terry Gordy and the Freebirds. And they were just the oddball mix of those three guys. The veteran, Buddy Roberts. Yeah. The math guy, Michael P.S. Hayes. And he was the face of the Freebirds, actually. And Terry Gordy was the workhorseman, if I may use that term from AEW. J.D. Drake, the workhorseman. Yes. So, yeah, they were just... they were the right combo of personalities that you think would not work whatsoever, but they did.
They worked great. It was amazing.
Fantastic. Yes.
And then, so just sort of trying to get my thoughts gathered, he starts traveling to Japan for like 3-4 months out of the year, then comes back, gets back in the feud. Like, it's that old adage, how can I miss you if you don't go away? Well, he figured out, hey, pal, I'm going to fly home. I'm going to fly back to Japan. make a shitload of money, and then come back here and get us re-engaged with the Von Erichs and a new angle in 3 months when people have, forgotten about us. It was incredible. Incredible.
Absolutely.
He was the first American to win the Japanese, the Triple Crown. The first American to ever win it.
Mm-hmm.
And he won it twice. I was watching this if you watch the highlights of this shit, when he would clothesline, dude, my chest hurt. I got scared for the guys that was taking that shit. He laid that shit in, man.
The tag matches that he had with Dr. Death Steve Williams, that tag team they put together, was phenomenal. And I think at one point in time, they went up against Stan Hansen, and I can't remember who was Stan's tag team partner in All Japan.
It was in the documentary. I can't remember who it was either.
Yeah, I cannot remember who that guy was, but good Lord Almighty. Can you imagine how stiff that match was?
Dude.
Everybody loved Gordy and Williams. Everybody loved those guys, and they're both gone now, unfortunately.
And that's what's sad is all the guys that we watched, when we were younger are going away, and that makes me sad. But to get back on point, he's traveling back and forth. He's got his demons. He won a shitload of titles, by the way. He won a ton of tag team championships. Won the NWA tag team titles, the WCW tag team titles, the Japan tag team titles, just titles all over the place, man. He literally exactly, Mr. Harris. He was a legitimate badass, man.
Wrestling since he was 13. Wrestling since 13. Can you imagine the wear and tear on his body? A body not fully formed yet. Being thrown all around a wrestling ring, beaten up. And they're going to be stiff with the new kid, even though they probably didn't really have a handle on how old he was. I'm sure someone lied about his age somewhere along the way here. And you imagine the wear and tear on his body and the pain he was in. And getting hooked on those pills. They were so easy to get.
Got hooked bad.
Yeah, no internet. Couldn't validate anything. It was all pen and ink. Very easy to get pills back then.
So he gets hooked on it. He does something stupid. He has an OD and he goes into a coma. He goes into a coma. And this is what I've heard from a lot of guys. I want to get your take on this. They said he was never the same guy ever again. He was never the same wrestler. And did you see the interview that they did with him in the show? It was really hard to watch that. You could tell he was.
That was a high spots. That was a high spots interview from the early 2000s, and maybe the late 90s. And he wasn't all there. He couldn't express his thoughts. His speech center was screwed up. When he came back after the coma, and he was called upon to say something in group interviews, he seemed like he had a couple of cocktails. He slurred his words a little bit, and he was on point, but not on point with what they were talking about. I'm going to hurt you real bad. Yeah, free birds. You could tell he was a little out there. It was like he had a couple of drinks, is what it sounded like.
I mean, I feel bad. It was awful to watch his demise. It was terrible to see how far into the dumps he fell. It seemed like he never stopped taking the pills either. So, tragically he passed away. But, just hearing Jim Cornette, that was good to see Jim Cornette get his perspective. When Jim Cornette's about to break down and start crying, that's when it really, gets to you, man. When you see a grown man ready to lose it over a friend that he had just is no longer the guy he used to have.
I remember in The Observer, Meltzer covered the entire downfall of Terry Gordy, and he was spot on with everything back then. He was spot on with what Terry went through and the pill problem and how disenfranchised he was from his family by working all the time. And it was great to see his kids. It was great to see Miranda Gordy, and if you remember the tag team of Jesse and Festus. From the early days.
I had bailed on the WWF back then. Bailed on their ass.
The early 2000s, it was Jesse and Festus. Festus was a man who obviously had some sort of head injury where he was non-compos mentis. Yep. But when the bell rang, he turned into an animal. And that is Luke Gallows. Luke Gallows from
Good stuff, pal. Good stuff.
And then Jesse turned into Slam Master J, where he got a rap gimmick in the WWE. And He supposedly left the WWE on his own accord because he didn't. I caught that little thing. He didn't like the WWE and he left. They shit-canned him is what they did, but
yeah,
because he couldn't get over.
Anyway, that was a great show. I really was glad we were ready to cover it. I did want to get into a quick couple of nibbits of news here. I know we got the DDP thing, but this was on my mind because I went on Twitter and I said, can someone explain to me what the fuck is with this Continental Classic title? Because I thought it was part of 3 titles. That's why it made it the Intercontinental belt, right? It was part of these other 2 countries, and that's what made it the Intercontinental Championship, or whatever the hell this thing is, man.
Ring of Honor, AAA, and New Japan. 3 belts into one.
The Continental Classic Tournament title belt. That's what it was. So I was like, all right, maybe I'm confused. Maybe I don't know. And of course, the neckbeard's like, you're a goddamn idiot. Go to hell. We're not explaining this to you. It was clearly explained in the rules. Well, luckily, Tony Khan came out and explained it for all of us. So I'd now like a word from Tony Khan on how this works. Thankfully, Tony Khan has clarified in an interview with Comic Books saying, whoever is the champion going into the Continental Classic, they will put the title up going into the Continental Classic. They will have the opportunity to retain it by winning the tournament. The Continental title will be defended under Continental rules for the rest of the year. No outside interference, nobody allowed inside the ring. Whoever's the champion coming out of full gear, they will defend the title in the Continental Classic at World's End. We'll determine who will be the Continental champion. What?
It's good to see comicbook.com is asking all the hard questions. Comicbook.com, everybody. That's who he's interviewed. B's been interviewed by. Comicbook.com. Because Skittles.net was busy that day.
What the hell did he just say? Trying to comprehend the shenanigans and ongoings of a cocaine-minded idiot is impossible.
Well, we were going to take the Continental Classic, the championships, away from Eddie, but Eddie peed his pants and cried. So we're just taking the one belt away. He's still going to have the New Japan belt and the Ring of Honor belt. And we're just giving Kensuke Okada, we're giving him the Continental Breakfast Championship. That's what we're giving him.
I'm totally
It's going to be a bagel, a slab of cream cheese, and a lukewarm coffee. That's his Continental Breakfast Championship.
Awful.
Terrible.
This entire explanation was awful. So
can one man shit the bed in every waking hour of his life? Can he just shit the bed every hour? Because that's what it seems like he's doing. He's just, everything he touches turns to shit. Everything goes wrong. Everything Tony Khan says and does goes wrong eventually. What is wrong with that guy?
Why does it have to be so involved and so explained?
What about the rankings, Don? The rankings. What about the rankings, Don?
Gone. They are meaningless now. Gone. Just gone to shit. Anyway, I'm glad we got that out of the way. There was another little piece of news I want to talk about. Jim Ross has seen the new AEW show. He said, I watched Dynamite on Wednesday night, and I thought it was a hell of a show. One thing that stood out was how the show looks, cleaner and slicker. The production values have noticeably improved, especially in the graphics area. Then that damn bell had to ring. No, I added that last part. So he's a fan of how it looks now, which I'll admit, it looks like a much better show now. It looks slicker.
It looks like a wedding reception in a Rio de Janeiro whorehouse. That's what it looks like.
I like it better than what they had.
What the hell is he talking about?
I don't like what they had. It was awful what they had. I'm glad they changed it. I'm just my opinion.
What the hell is he talking about? What the hell? That man's brain is so out of. Where is he in the chat? Grey Goose 545. Come on down, Jim. We want to talk.
We're going to talk to you for a minute, Jim.
He's in there right now. He's just laying low. He's laying low. Grey Goose 545.
I'm also looking forward to.
Stussy said Danielson is a peg warmer and didn't move merch. None of them are moving merchandise. I go to my local Walmart. You know how many times I go to Walmart a week, Don? You know,
dude,
because I'm old and retired. He calls me up. He says, "Where you at? What are you doing?" I'm coming back from Walmart. Jesus Christ, you're depraved.
Oh God!
I go in Walmart over the toy department and I look at all the action figures for wrestlers. And there's always Hangman Page, Jungle Boy, Max Caster, Bryan Danielson. They're all there just hanging up in one.
Speaking of Jack Perry, Tony Khan continues to hold a grudge against Jack Perry following CM Punk's departure. Perry has been absent from the scene for several months after the incident. Despite Perry not working with New Japan, he remains under contract with AEW. Perry disregarded Punk's advice, blah, blah, blah. Meltzer has said that Perry will be brought back after his run in New Japan.
Yeah.
Anyway, look, I can give shit if this guy ever comes back or not. I am not a fan of his. I say that, but I'm a huge fan of his because he got CM Punk the hell out of there. It was great. Thank God for that. Thank God for that. Way to go. Happy about that.
Mm-hmm. Jack Perry's been... I'd rather be in a Rio whorehouse than an AEW arena. Let me tell you something. Jack Perry's been working out, too. You'd like to see a recent picture of him?
No, I have seen a recent picture of him. I'm not.
No, I got an updated one. He dyed his hair black and everything. Take a look at this.
Will you stop it? God, man.
Shout out to Beer Man. There he is.
God bless America. On to the Diamond Dallas Page show that you were dying to get to, right? I didn't really learn anything out of this episode. I don't know if you did or not. I've heard Diamond Dallas's story a million times. Jersey guy was running a bar, got a bar job down in Florida, running that club, met some wrestlers. They got him in the business. He was a manager, ran some guys off. They said he didn't have a spot in the business. He got in finally. Then he decided he wanted to be an actual wrestler. He came in late. He became world champion. Now he's got DDP yoga. I wasn't exactly enthralled with this episode. I didn't learn anything. Did you learn anything?
Neither did I. Not at all. It was the same old, same old. I read his biography, Positively Page, and it was the same stuff that was covered.
Okay.
And but I will have to say it was a great autobiography, Positively Page. It was fantastic. If it's still in print, if you get a copy of it somewhere, a digital copy on Amazon, great book. I really enjoyed it.
I just ordered another copy of Mick Foley's Have a Nice Day. I don't have it anymore, and I need to get it back. I gave it away years ago, and that person passed away, so I had to get my new book. Here's some news that hit my screen.
My second ex-wife walked away with all my old wrestling books. Autographed copy of Foley, autographed copy of Arn Anderson's book.
Don't you refer to her as plaintiff number 2?
Plaintiff number 2, who I met in a bar one day. I said to her, because I had, copious amounts of beer and vodka, I said, you must be a speeding ticket because you got fine written all over you.
Oh, dear God, man.
And she said, that's pretty original. Got anything else? I said, I'm just looking for a little snatch. She goes, I wish I had one too. Mine's as big as a bucket.
All right, we're done.
And that was it.
That
was plaintiff number 2.
Okay, we're moving on to the Slammys that are coming back. The Slammys are coming back.
Come on, man.
I swear the Slammys are coming back. I swear.
They're not coming
back. Okay. You want to bet? You want to owe me another pizza? You already owe me 2. Do you want to go for 3?
2 pizzas. Now we're up to 2 pizzas. We're not going 3 pizzas. No.
Streaming across live WWE platforms, voting will be open today until Wednesday, March 27th. WWE, part of TKO, announced the Slammys. The Fans' Choice Awards will take place at WrestleMania weekend on Sunday, April 7th, and air live across their YouTube, Facebook, X, Twitch, and TikTok channels.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
I swear.
Don't tell me this.
This is really happening. This is happening.
What's next? What's next? The gobbledygooker coming back? Jesus H. Christ.
This is happening,
serious?
I swear to God.
Will I be turning on WWE television, seeing a vignette of Cody Rhodes coming out to pump somebody's gas at a rural gas station like his father did? What are you gonna be? The Slammys?
Colin knows too. He says it's hosted by Kathy Kelly, he believes, and Big E. Wait, here it comes. They want to know who's going to win the Slammys.
It all depends on the categories, Maribel.
Shit,
whatever
man.
the categories may be.
Oh, God. And I agree.
They
The
need to
Slammys
bring
are
back-
not the Slammys without Owen Hart. Owen Hart made that shit something. When he ran around carrying 2 Slammys, that shit was great. God, it was good.
It was great. I'm not a nugget. He kept screaming that. I'm not a nugget.
It was so
Holding the 2
great.
Slammys up. Maribel said they need to bring back AJ Lee. They've talked about bringing back AJ Lee. There's been
read the news on her
momentum
today.
on that.
Read the
Because
word,
she doesn't
I
want
read
to come
about it
back right now.
She doesn't want to come back.
Doesn't want to come back.
She's got her thing going on, so she's not going to come back. I'm
Larry
looking forward
said
to...
he feels God in this Chili's tonight. Larry must be in a Chili's somewhere in Louisiana, being blocked because he's blocked Larry. No, you can't come in here, sir. You got to go out. No.
I'm looking forward to SmackDown tonight, Johnny Bottles. We're going to have the go-ahead. We're going to have some time. I'm looking forward to it. I want to thank everybody for watching tonight. Please like and subscribe. We appreciate all of you. We're getting that big push to 500. We're so close. Please share with your family and friends. Annoy the shit out of them. Make them know you need to subscribe to the channel, Mom. I need you to reach through and touch that like and subscribe button, Mom.
Thank you, Terry. Hotline to heaven. I should have taken you.
The categories. Colin said the categories are up. He's going to vote.
Oh, wait. I got to look this up. Hang on a second. You're not leaving me out of this
shit.
shit. We got a few minutes left. I'm going to go and hit this right now. Slammys. My God in heaven.
Oh, yeah. By the way, for those of you that don't watch live, I just want to put this out there. We don't do this tape to edit. We do this show live when we do these shows. None of this shit's rehearsed. We don't go back and do another take. Mistakes happen. This is live. Nobody's rehearsing shit. This is live, pal. So if you think we're taping,
like Jim Ross
get
said,
the
this
hell
is
over
vicious. This is live.
This is live, pal.
Some people
You got it pulled up?
This is all taped and
yeah.
I got it pulled up right here.
What do you got on the Slammys, real quick? I want to hear it.
Female Superstar of the Year. Here are the choices. Bianca Belair, Bayley, Io Sky, and Becky Lynch.
It's
Rhea Ripley. Male Superstar of the Year. Come on now. Logan Paul, Gunther, Seth freaking Rollins. That's how he's billed on this. Seth freaking Rollins. Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes.
I think Cody Rhodes wins.
Now, best entrance. Cody Rhodes.
Seth Rollins.
Roman Reigns. Bianca Belair. Rhea Ripley.
Seth freaking Rollins.
Becky Lynch, The Rock, Dominic Mysterio from WrestleMania 39. They had to specify his entrance. I guess I don't know. Return of the Year. Naomi.
CM Punk.
Randy Orton, Nia Jax, The Rock, and your man CM Punk. It's got to be CM Punk. Faction of the Year. Damage Control. The Bloodline. Imperium. Alpha Academy.
I know.
And
keep reading. I'm not talking about the Judgment Day.
The Judgment Day. Alpha Academy. Come on, man.
Come on, pal.
Rivalry of the Year. Seth Rollins versus Drew. Dirty Dom versus Rey Mysterio. Bianca Belair versus Damage Control. What? Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes. R-Truth versus the Judgment Day.
They put that shit in there. Oh, God. You know who I'm going to vote for on that one? I'm actually going to give that one to Dominic Mysterio. I really am. That was such a good feud that I didn't see coming. It was pleasant. Look, I'm not going to lie. Last year, they dropped the ball with this WrestleMania. They screwed that shit up. They really did. And now they're trying to fix it a year later. They were so focused on making this guy the longest running champion, they just lost complete focus on getting Cody the belt. And here's the thing. I don't think Cody's going to have the belt for Raw. I think he's going to lose it like at SummerSlam, to be honest.
He may lose it at WrestleMania.
He very well, damn well may.
There's a guy who's walking around with a briefcase. Yep. Here we go. Rivalry of the Year. We did that. NXT Superstar of the Year. Braun Breaker. Tiffany Stratton.
Trick Williams.
He's not even listed, buddy.
Then it's going to be
Lyra Valkyria, Carmelo Hayes, and Ilya Dragunov. Match of the year. Now this is where it gets interesting. Match of the year, Don. You're gonna have some things to say about this, Don. I know. So let's start out with the
Beer
easy
Man,
one.
I'm not throwing that up on the screen. I don't give a shit. I'm not throwing that up there. I am not.
I will.
No, do not.
Okay.
Shit
We went
of the
from
year, pal.
PG-13 to TV-14. Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley.
That's it. Game over, pal.
Asuka versus Bianca Belair versus Charlotte Flair. SummerSlam. Gunther versus Chad Gable. Raw.
No. That was good. No.
Roman Reigns versus Sami Zayn. Elimination Chamber.
No.
And Bad Bunny versus Damian Priest.
Stop.
from
Will you
Backlash.
stop?
I told you you're going to have something to say. You'll have a lot to say about this. The oh my God moment of the year. The OMG moment of the year.
How many are there? For God's sakes.
There's two more after this, Don. Let's not get surly. Rey Mysterio punches Dirty Dom. SmackDown.
Excuse me.
Okay. CM Punk returns to WWE Survivor Series.
That's
Oh
it.
my God moment right there.
Yeah, that's it.
Io Sky cashing in Money in the Bank at SummerSlam to
Nope.
win the belt. The Rock slaps Cody Rhodes.
Nope. It's CM Punk.
Damn.
And here's the thing, right?
I'm not. Hang on a second.
Wait a minute. Let me just say this
Damage
real
could-
quick.
Go ahead.
If someone wins the two Slammys, like a heel, they've got to pull a Owen Hart and run around with them and be as obnoxious as shit with them. And that's something I can see CM Punk doing on his return. Right? Like I can see him being that guy.
Or Dom Mysterio.
Or Mysterio, yes.
Damage Control turns on Bailey. SmackDown, February.
No.
Cody Rhodes slaps The Rock.
No.
Vince McMahon's colon versus an intern's forehead.
Stop. I definitely didn't fart. I got the sour belches, boys and girls.
I thought he farted. That's what Vince said too. Vince said, "Sorry, pal."
No. I'm moving on.
No? Okay. Social media star of the year.
Ooh.
Are you ready for this?
Oh, this is a no-brainer.
Liv Morgan?
No.
Chelsea Green?
No.
Could be up
No.
there. She puts a lot of stuff on Twitter. Jimmy C81 told me about this.
Connie said, "Don't get caught in the panties." Drew McIntyre is social media of the year. If he's not on there, it's a damn shame.
He's on there. Logan
He's the
Paul
winner.
and Grayson Waller.
No,
Okay.
it's absolutely
Okay,
Drew
now,
McIntyre.
Here's something for you. Very controversial. And this isn't just individual stars, it's tag teams also. So,
Oh God.
breakout superstars of the year. Jey Uso.
No.
Tiffany Stratton.
No.
Dragon Lee.
No.
LA Knight.
Yes.
And a tag team that's near and dear to your heart, Pretty Deadly.
Get the shit. No. Frickin', they're pretty awful.
Don.
They're pretty awful.
Pretty Deadly.
They're pretty awful. God,
They're just two young
Jackasses.
metrosexual men
They're
roaming
two
the streets
jerk-offs.
looking for friends.
Jerk-offs.
That's all they're doing, Don. They're looking
They're
for friends and
fucking
allies, Don.
jerk-offs.
That's all they're doing.
Jerk-offs.
Well, everybody's got a hobby, Don.
They're jerk-offs. All right, Johnny, take us home, pal. It's been a good show. Thank you all for watching. Like and subscribe. Have a good weekend.
We're trying to get to 500 people. We're just trying to get to 500. That's all we're trying to do. We're just two guys sitting around having some alcoholic drinks. We're fans of professional wrestling. We don't claim to have ever done it, know anything about it. We just like what we watch. We know what we like. And
SmackDown
we talk
time.
about professional wrestling. SmackDown time in about 2 seconds. All right. I tell you one thing. What would I just do?
This guy would have loved SmackDown. I guarantee you. He'd have probably been collared, as a matter of fact.
This guy has actually been caught riding around to several raves at night with Pretty Deadly. You know who I'm talking about. He owes you $10.
Until next week, Gordon Soley saying so long from the Sunshine State.